What's good, Footy Culture fam? My name is Matthews, aka Matt, aka Matozinho. Today, coming at y'all with another episode of the Footy Culture Podcast. Once again, I'm joined today by Jimmy.
What's going on? Back on the couch.
Yes, sir. Got a man like Jay.
Hey, how's it going?
Is it cold out there?
It's a little chilly.
Stormy.
Damn, winter jacket indoors?
It's not a winter jacket.
No, what is it then?
They were wearing this at the World Cup in '94 in 36 degree weather.
That's cap, bro.
36 degrees they were wearing
I
this.
don't know. Maybe those buses were like well AC'd, bro, and they're coming off the bus.
On the pitch.
On the pitch?
Yeah, the
In the
gaffers.
US.
The gaffers.
In the US.
Yeah.
In 30-degree weather.
Yep.
Come on, bro.
This is a windbreaker, if anything.
What?
Windbreaker?
No.
Yeah.
That's looking kind of thick, bro.
That's
Pause.
thick, man.
Whatever, man. I'm here. I'm Canadian too.
And last but not least, we got a man like Dan.
Hello.
Legend.
Where are we, boys?
Scotland. Kit.
We are the EFL champions.
Jeez, we. It's just you, Brev.
Yeah.
I'm speaking in behalf of all the United fans.
Jeez, okay.
Yeah.
There's lots of us out there.
There is.
Did they change the name? Because I swear it's
The Carabao Cup. It's the
final,
Carabao Cup, but it's considered the EFL Cup
So the energy drink final,
Yeah.
basically.
So there's a Carabao Cup,
and the EFL and the
FA Cup,
FA Cup.
Community Shield.
Is Capital One Cup still a thing, or did they
No,
bring
No,
that?
that's Carabao.
That was Carabao Cup.
That was Carabao.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are they switching?
It's just a
New
sponsor.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Interesting.
Yeah, you think
So many
Carabao Cup-
cups.
I know.
What do you mean? There's two cups.
Other cups.
What's the Super Copa for Spain?
Yeah, I guess Spain has like 2 cups technically for like Spanish teams.
And isn't there like a preseason cup you guys have?
That's the Gamper Cup.
That's the same as the Community Shield.
Yeah, but that's one game. This is like a tournament.
The Community Shield, no.
Community Shield is one game.
Oh,
Community Shield
you're
is
talking
usually
about.
what? FA Cup winner versus
League winner.
League winner.
Yeah.
Too many competitions, bro.
It's same for all leagues. Same
Is
for all
it?
leagues.
What does Bundesliga have?
Yeah.
They have the Pokal.
Pokal.
Pokal, which is like the German Cup.
Yeah.
The league, and then they have the German Super Cup.
No, only England has 2 cups.
Yeah, I think England just have an extra cup.
No.
Mm.
Yeah.
How?
They got an
They
extra
have
cup.
FA and Carabao.
Yeah.
No other country does that.
Don't you guys have Super Copa and Copa del Rey?
Yeah, but England have a Super Cup too, Community Shield.
Yeah, and you guys have Gamper as well.
Isn't the Gamper
Gamper's
just
just-
Gamper's just a
it's a
Barca
friendly.
thing?
Yeah,
no?
it's just a Barca thing. It's just a friendly.
The Super
But
Cup.
Community Shield is also like a friendly thing. It's not
No,
really,
it's the Super Cup.
the Community Shield?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Community Shield just 2 teams.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
Super
the
Cup's
Super Cup.
two teams.
Isn't there like a qualifier? I mean, like,
For Community Shield?
no, for Super Copa.
Yeah, now they added a semifinal just to make it more like money, but
Yeah.
it wasn't always like that.
So what's the Copa del Rey? Is that all divisions in top flight?
Yeah. That's like
Copa del Rey is like FA Cup.
yeah.
So there's no cup. It's just League Cup.
No, only England
Oh.
does that.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's why some people aren't calling it a major trophy.
It's no. I think it's man. You're facing the best teams in your division.
Hold on. Were United playing the best teams?
Yes.
They played Carlton, Nottingham Forest. Who else?
Where in the epic
And then Newcastle in the final.
we didn't face Carlton.
I swear y'all did. Carlton United or Carlton Athletic?
They're on the first.
But
division.
isn't it just a Premier League team?
Yeah, it's just Premier League teams.
Is it?
Yeah.
In the Carabao Cup?
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
I think so.
No.
I could be
No.
wrong.
it is. I'm pretty
Where?
sure.
No,
I remember, like, I swear I saw
Southampton
like a table.
beat City. City lost to Southampton, and then Newcastle beat Southampton.
I don't know. I gotta investigate.
Do the dirty work.
I think the FA Cup is maybe what you're thinking of.
No, FA Cup is literally like
Every team.
hashtag United's there too.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
team.
Anyone can pay into it.
Carabao might be the only top first 4 divisions.
No.
I think it's just the top division.
You think it's just the Prem?
Yeah.
Maybe since they call it League Cup.
Yeah, that would make sense because it's just one league. And then if it wasn't just the league, then why is it any different than the FA Cup if they just include all the leagues?
Just to throw another cup.
Yeah.
Just to toss it in there.
Maybe they take like a couple teams from like the other divisions.
So EFL Cup literally was. Oh, we did face Carlton, but there was not all teams were playing in
I'm
it though.
confused.
It is weird.
So round 3, they played Aston Villa. United won 4-2. Round 4, they played Burnley. United won 2-0.
So it's probably just championship and
Quarterfinal, they played Carlton Athletic. They won 3-0.
then we faced
Semi,
Nottingham
Nottingham.
and then Newcastle.
And final Newcastle.
So
That's a
it's-
Mickey Mouse kind
It's
of.
top 2. It's top 2.
Top 2. What do you mean?
top
top
two
two?
divisions. Championship and the Premier League.
Yeah, but the level of competition they played though.
The championship can beat
Mickey Mouse, bro.
The
low
championship
key.
can beat half the teams in the league, man.
I don't know about that.
The
bro.
championship is really competitive league.
Maybe like the top 3 or like few teams.
No, man.
Maybe, but
The championship is really competitive.
so you're saying
Yeah,
teams
know,
like
okay, yeah,
Carlton
here-
Athletic are competitive?
Your simple search. EFL Cup is open to any club in the 4 levels.
Oh. So it's the same as the other.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Is the EFL Cup a major trophy? I'm gonna say no.
Of course it is.
I'm gonna say no because it's like, look, every league has their national cup. FA Cup in England, Copa del Rey in Spain, Pokal in Germany,
Coppa Italia.
Coppa Italia in Italy. Exactly. And England's version of that is the FA Cup. And suddenly they just have another one. So it's like you have another chance to win a major trophy. Like, so like, is it major? Like, it's a major. Is it a top 3 trophy?
But it's the exact same like kind of like requirements for teams that are able to compete in the competition.
I think so, yeah.
Because you were saying EFL Cup's like up to 4th tier, no?
Yeah.
Is an FA Cup like
Every tier.
every tier?
Yeah.
Even non-league tiers.
Interesting. I see what you're saying, like in terms of that and how you can't really consider it like a big cup
Yeah.
because there's basically another version of it,
So
but a little bit more expansive.
Who plays in La Liga? In La Copa del Rey?
It's all teams pretty much,
Well, what divisions?
like all levels.
All levels?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, so I compare it to
FA Cup.
FA Cup.
Yeah, pretty much.
So is it a major trophy?
I think I agree with you. Like just because there's another competition that's pretty much just like it, I'd say no.
You can't just say no because it's an extra trophy. You're still facing the
No.
same competition.
Okay, no, here's a way to look at it. Let's say you win the league, the EFL Cup, and the Champions League. Did you win the treble? Did you officially win the treble?
If I'm
the
a fan of the team that's won that, then yes. If
No,
I'm
but
not,
like,
then no.
is that officially considered the treble?
Well, who's the person to call this official? You know what I mean?
No, I mean like, is that the treble? Is that the treble? You know what I mean by
No,
the treble?
the treble for Premier League would be league. A European title can be Champions League, can be Europa League, and
FA Cup?
FA Cup.
Yeah, I agree.
I think maybe it's on the same tier as like Community Shield.
Probably. Community Shield is like one of those. It's a pre-season tournament just to like have like a warm up.
So it's a trophy, but it's
a
not
trophy,
like
but it's not
the
like-
major trophy.
I
So
wouldn't-
it's not a major trophy for you.
Community Shield,
go
no.
in.
Community Shield, no?
I'd put this Carabao Cup over Community Shield any day of the week because you're
Really?
not. It's literally just the league winners and the
FA Cup.
FA Cup winners. What if both teams literally fell off? They literally sold all their best players, and it's literally just 2 mid-table teams facing each other, right? You know, in Carabao Cup, you're literally facing. It's knockout. You're facing competition to get to the finals, and you're facing teams that are in the first division too. So that's my.
So you think it's a major trophy?
I would take it over. Community Shield just as much as you guys have the Super Cup. But do you think the Super Cup is a major trophy?
Like, there's more like prestige to like the Copa del Rey. There's more prestige to the FA Cup.
No, FA Cup has way more prestige than
Yeah.
Carabao Cup too, for sure.
Yeah.
But I would compare the Carabao Cup to your Super Copa, and this Community Shield can be like just a preseason match, just for like the winners of last season, just to like have like a good game before the season starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is, right?
Pretty much what it is.
I don't know, cause like when City won the Community Shield like a few seasons ago, and they won the league, I think they won something else. They called it a treble,
They won the Carabao Cup, I
Domestic.
think.
right?
treble.
Domestic treble. But is domestic treble different than like a regular treble? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for sure.
I'm talking about the treble.
The treble
Like
is
if you're talking the treble, you're winning like
League.
Champions League,
the league.
the league, and like the major cup competition in your country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the treble. Then there's obviously a treble where maybe you won the Europa League.
Like if you search
Right.
up trebles, like City's not on the list. They don't have a treble.
No, for sure no. Because they never won Champions League.
Like
So-
technically it's a treble, but it's not the treble.
That's a domestic.
That's why
treble.
I don't think the Carabao Cup is a major trophy.
Because it doesn't count towards the treble.
Yeah.
So if you say let's say a team wins the Premier League, Champions League and the Carabao Cup and lose in the FA Cup? That's not a trouble to you?
No.
Nah, low key, no.
No?
Just an energy drink competition at that point.
No,
right?
man. You guys are
Carabao?
It's the
Bro,
name, man.
You could just say Gatorade Cup, bro, or the Prime competition, or Prime Cup. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Audi Cup.
That doesn't hold like prestige, you know.
The leagues have names too.
FA, the Football Association Cup. Like, come on. Copa del Rey, King's Cup, bro.
Yeah.
This is different. This is different gravy, bro. This ain't no energy drink.
What's the La Liga called now? Santander?
Yeah, La Liga
Named
Santander.
after a bank. We're the Premier League. We don't name that for anything.
Mm.
What does that make the La Liga then?
Uber Eats.
Literally.
They need the money, bro.
It's the same thing. Carabao Cup just sells the name. That's all it is. And it holds its weight as a competitive tournament because of the knockout stages it takes. It's not like it's like the Super Cup you're talking about, just semifinals and finals. You literally go rounds. What is it, 4-3? Quarters, semis, and finals?
Yeah.
It's 5 rounds. It's a lot of football. Especially if you're playing, and you're also playing in the FA Cup, and you're also playing in the league, and you're also playing in Champions League or Europa League. It's a lot of football. If anything, I pay more credit to that than playing less games of football, because now these players have to play more football. It's tougher. If anything, the lower leagues have a better chance in, winning these. Sometimes they do really well and come pretty far because they don't play as much football as we do.
True.
But to be honest, there's more teams in the championship, which they do play more football than the Premier League does in regular season.
So are you saying also by saying that we should hold like Prem teams to a higher standard because they play more games than other teams in different leagues?
Not because of the tournaments they play, just because of the quality they produce. And
But like, is that like an added kind of thing, you know?
no,
No?
they play more football. They play more football. It's on them. But I just don't say you lose the trophy's weight just because it's an extra trophy in the league. It still has its rounds, still has its competitiveness. And,
Yeah. At the end of the day, like the best teams in the country are still competing for the trophy. Now, obviously, with the fixture congestion, sometimes they won't always play their best teams, right? And sometimes it's a competition that maybe the team will rotate, 3, 4, 5 players from the 11, especially in the earlier rounds.
for sure.
Right. So obviously maybe there's more chances for an upset because of that, because maybe some teams have competing priorities, especially earlier on in the season. Like if you're a team like maybe City or Liverpool or Arsenal and you got off to a really hot start, you're like, okay, which competition are we going to focus on? We're going to focus on the league. We'll focus on Champions League. Or maybe if you don't get off to the best start, you'll get there eventually, like United have. Like they didn't start off the season very strong, but now they've come a long way.
And
since the beginning of the season,
yeah,
right?
and we didn't really use any of our we used our best team possible. We played our best team in the league. We played our best team against Barcelona. We played our best team in the EFL Cup.
Yeah.
We're playing our best teams. We're not really resting players because we have a healthy squad, which is fortunate, and we do have a pretty deep squad too.
But I think it's important at the end of the day, like even if 3 of us didn't consider it a major trophy, it's still important to win. Because it brings that, winning mentality to the side, right?
For
Especially
sure.
like when you have a new gaffer that's come in, you need to get the respect of the players a little bit more. And like when you go through that cup run together and you win that trophy, no matter what teams you face, you still have that kind of experience together as a team. And I think it's going to make the team as a whole stronger.
And I would say it's also beneficial to have a little bit more competition, like more games involved. Okay, sometimes people say they play too much football, but it is also good to rotate players that don't really see minutes, right? Because you have players who sit the bench all season, and you can toss them into these tournaments, and then you guys come with a great win, get the trophy, great. But at least some of these players who aren't seeing regular minutes do get to see that pitch sometimes, and especially it's also good for younger players too to show that first
What they can
football,
do,
what they can do, and also like maybe the smaller teams that are coming out of second division or third division to like really show themselves against bigger teams, surprise some players, then to get some signings. And then, for example, last year was Liverpool. They won. They were in Champions League finals,
Yeah.
right? Competing in the league. So before that was City, again, competing in the league. They won the league that year.
City like the Carabao Cup.
They won the league 3 years in a row. So the EFL Cup 3 years in a row. And I think they won the league those 3 years, whatever it was. And competing in Champions League, you know what I mean? Sorry, they won 4 years in a row.
They like a good Carabao Cup.
Mad, bro.
18, 19, 20, 21. And again, like I said, they have a deep squad, so they can rotate some players in there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right? And then it was United back in 2017. So a lot of these teams that are winning these trophies are still playing Champions League, Europa League football, are playing probably FA Cup football, and are also probably competing in the league.
Yeah.
So
True. But yeah, speaking of
I give it to
UFL, we had United versus Newcastle. 2-0 dub from Manchester United. Goals from Casemiro and Maki Rashford, top scorer.
they counted it as goal finally.
Counted it, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was yesterday or earlier today said they actually counted it as his goal because it was first counted as an own goal from Burns. No, Burns. Shar
Own goal.
own goal. But no, great game. I wasn't worried. Pope had the red card. You know, Newcastle started off pretty hot. They were looking pretty good, and they were pressuring a lot. And the fact that they were playing they play like a flat four. Their fullbacks do not come up. Burns, you don't see Burns making runs. Nah. Trippier a little bit here and there, but he's also obviously the dead ball specialist. Mm-hmm. But they literally play four, Bruno Guimaraes and Longstaff, like holding that too, and then they have like four players attacking you, so they pressed us pretty high. Maximum did his work in the beginning of the first half too, but as soon as we got that goal from Casemiro, like it did change up a little bit. But man, he's something else.
Bro, Casemiro loves like a final goal or like a big game kind of goal, bro. Like it's crazy what kind of impact he has, because like people say he's like a complete midfielder, which I kind of get, because he does like provide those big moments. Like he's a solid player,
Scores goals.
defends the back, doesn't have like quite the best kind of dribbling ability, but besides that, everything else, he's like a complete package, right?
Yeah, and again, how much do you really expect from a dribbler right nowadays? Like you don't really expect players to take players on one in the midfield, really. Yeah. And like if you do make a nice little dribble through the midfield, it's also a little dangerous because you don't want to lose the ball there, right? So I respect Casemiro for everything he does. I don't really expect anything else from him. Like he's doing everything that was expected from him and more. And that's where you're seeing some of the people and the fans saying like we should have bought him for way more than he was actually bought for.
United fans like we should have paid more for Casemiro, bro.
Because he was like 70, I think, 70, 60.
Something like that.
It's quite a bit. And he's not old. He's what, 31, 32 now?
Something like that.
He can
Good age.
I think I forget how long his contract's for, but you know he can stay for quite a bit, like especially with his midfield. And then he's making everyone around him much better than they are before. Everyone was telling Fred, go home. You know, McTominay, when he has some minutes here and there, not bad. But he makes a lot of players around him play a lot better because they have that freedom to move and freedom to create, where they don't have to like really sit back too much and have that worry of like, if I hold on too much, you know, everyone's going to I'm going to hear from everyone first kind of thing. Like they can really rely on trust on Casemiro in the midfield. So, yeah, probably the best signing in the season.
I've been seeing a lot of people on Twitter, especially Prem Twitter, people saying that Casemiro is the best DM to ever play in the Prem. Do you guys think that's true or no? Best to play in the Prem.
All I gotta say is whoa, because didn't a certain Patrick Vieira play in the Premier League? I saw it, and I saw him become invincible. You're saying Casemiro's the best DM in the league? Has he won a title?
I'm not saying that.
Yeah, you might have just did.
I'm saying people on Twitter are saying that.
Okay, but let him win a title first before we're getting best DM talks, because you have Patrick Vieira. You
You got Robbie Keane. You got N'Golo Kante.
You got Roy Keane.
Sorry, yeah, Roy Keane.
You got Roy Keane.
You got N'Golo Kante.
You got Kante if you consider him a CDM.
Yeah.
You got Vieira.
It's like, I don't know. Look, some people are saying Casemiro is the best ever. Best DM ever. How many Champions Leagues does the guy have? 5?
Too many, bro.
He has 5!
More than most teams.
How much does Patrick Vieira have?
Nil.
Which is why you got to ask the question better. Because in Premier League, it's not Casemiro. He just got there. And he hasn't won anything yet. Vieira has won everything in that league. And he inspired a gen. He's the reason I put Vaseline on my chest before games.
It's not Vaseline. It's not Vaseline.
It's Vaseline.
That's not.
Yeah, it is.
It's freaking
Vicks.
menthol. It's Vicks.
Vicks.
And Vaseline.
No.
No, it's Vicks, bro.
Vaseline's like a
I put
lube, man.
Vaseline.
Why?
This guy's
Petroleum jelly.
slippery.
Adama Traore over here.
Yeah.
No, man, it's Vicks, but go on.
Vieira was the reason I was putting petroleum jelly on my chest. because I
That's
want
for all the Vicks one.
because I want it to be Vieira.
That's capping, you know.
He inspired a gen.
And the no strip too,
And-
eh? Yeah.
He's the reason. Like I like the number 4 in football because of Vieira. Casemiro doesn't have the same influence that Vieira has, but even though Vieira is an invincible, Casemiro is a better winner. He has 5 Champions Leagues.
Was that more to do with the team that he's played in?
Yeah, but okay, he was the engine of those teams.
Yeah, but
He
look
was
at-
the engine of those midfields.
But compare the players Vieira had around him compared to who Casemiro had around him.
Vieira had good players
Yeah,
around
he
him.
did have some good
Casemiro
players.
had
around.
all-timers around him.
That's true.
Excuse me? Vieira had Zinedine Zidane by his side, Thierry Henry,
For Arsenal?
Desailly, Makaleli.
For France.
I'm talking just strictly clubs.
But you didn't say that first. You didn't say strictly clubs.
I'm saying it now.
Okay, strictly clubs. He had Gilberto Silva beside him.
Okay.
Another one of the best DMs of all time in the Premier League.
Yeah, sure.
Casemiro's compatriot.
Sure.
But are you saying that Vieira had to be playing next to someone to hold that position down?
No,
Casemiro's doing it by himself.
You could say Vieira.
The fact that Casemiro came into this team where at the beginning of the season it looked like Ten Hag was such a flop, and everyone was saying, Ten Hag isn't really gonna change anything. As soon as Casemiro came into this team, and Casemiro literally said, "I can change this team," when he watched that game again, I think it was against Brentford,
Facts.
where we lost. He said,
Or
I can come to that game and I can change it." And since then, since his arrival, we've been a completely different team. One player changed that, and it's not like we had bad players on the team. We have some pretty quality world class players.
Another player left too. which
And
was also a big
one
difference.
player changed that whole team. One player.
Could say the same of Vieira. What was Arsenal before Vieira got there?
What year did he get there?
98?
When was Wenger there?
96?
He had to build at one point, right?
And Vieira is the system.
Was he the system?
Yes, duh. Look, him and Roy Keane had this Premier League rivalry, but it was pretty one-sided. Vieira was way better than Roy Keane. Way better.
As a player, sure.
Yeah.
But does that say the same thing compared to like them facing off against each other in games?
Vieira would get the best of him a lot of those times.
You were watching?
Yeah, I did. It's called doing my research, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the head-to-head looking like?
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but there's a whole documentary on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had one of the biggest rivalries in the Premier League ever. 100%.
I could see that, yeah.
But just the impact that Casemiro has on the team is obviously like ridiculous. And the fact that it looks like Madrid are kind of missing him a little bit because there's those moments where like, yeah, they kind of get caught in the midfield and they get caught in like counterattacks where maybe a player like Camavinga and what's the other guy's name again? Tchouaméni don't really have that like facility to like hold it down for them. Whereas I feel like maybe Kroos and Modric are probably doing more of that kind of work now than they were doing before with Casemiro in the team. And even the defenders too. They put a lot more pressure on them. And Casemiro, like, speechless.
So you're saying he's the best of all time, Casemiro?
No, I can't say all time, but he's just the fact that he was so impactful so quickly for a side like that, and the fact that like we've had to go through so many different gaffers and managers and different styles of play, and just to kind of like get it to where we're at now, and it's like wow, like one player really did that. Obviously, Ten Hag is doing his thing. There's obviously the players doing the thing around them. Anthony, Sancho, all they're kind of like coming back to their form. Rashford too, scoring all those goals. Rashford never performed like this ever before for us, scoring almost every single game. And it's the fact that they have a player like Casemiro who's literally allowing the players to play at their best. One player, because clearly when the season started, we were not doing this well, and our team was kind of falling apart a little bit with Ronaldo there as well. Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying that he's the fact that he was impactful so quickly, just like that off the bat, I can kind of give him that like. Yeah, he's probably one of the best out there because he's literally doing it by himself in the midfield. I'll give it that shout. Maybe I didn't do more research on Vieira and whoever else it is, but maybe I'm biased, maybe I'm recency biased, but just the fact that he was able to impact it so quickly and just like perfectly, because like we're competing for the league now for somehow. right? We're only, what, 7, 8 points away. We still have one game down, but it's crazy. We beat the Barcelona a couple of days ago.
Injury ridden, some would say. But I don't know. In terms of like best ever in the Prem, I think it's too early to say that. Like I know he's had influence, like straight off pretty much. That's also, like you said, due to the fact with Ten Hag, like system coming into fruition. Rashford having a phenomenal season. But you can't discredit what Casemiro is doing as well too, right?
For sure.
Then again, it's early on. Still needs to win more trophies to be able to actually say that he's the best DM in the Prem and play a few more years, if anything, to see if he can maintain that kind of consistency. But not yet. Can he? Maybe. But not yet.
100%. I think he's the best right now in the league.
Right now? Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
for sure.
In the league, yeah.
100%.
But all time though, what are you saying?
All time,
Taking into account his whole career.
in terms of achievements, you could say that he's up there. Would you consider Matao's a CDM?
He played a little bit everywhere. Center back too, right?
If you consider him a CDM, defensive mid, then I'd say he's up there. It's got to be him.
Top.
You watched him live?
I've done research.
Exactly.
There you go. What do you think?
Me? I think it's tough. I think Prem, you can't say yet because he's only been playing there for like, what, 6 months, if that. So I think there's no way like a player can come in 6 months and you can automatically be the best of the league of all time, because like you can be saying the same thing as Haaland, the best striker in the Premier League of all time, right? Because they both got off to crazy good starts. They've both been very impactful. But I think, for all time, I don't know if he's one, but I think he's definitely like top 3. I think like 100% he's probably like a top 3 DM of all time.
Who are the other two?
I think Mateus is definitely a great shout. And I think maybe Busquets, for me, I think would have to also be in my top 3.
Yeah.
Fair.
And like I think when you look at the 3 of them, they all played the same position, but they played it all quite differently.
Yeah.
But I think respectively, I think you can make an argument for all 3 of them.
Wouldn't be mad with it.
Look, if you guys are talking best DM of all time, how could you forget the guy that invented the position?
Claude.
Claude Makaleli. The DM role is named after him. The Makaleli role.
Facts.
How could you forget?
You didn't mention it until now.
Yeah.
It was in my head. It was in my head.
I said it because no one else would.
It was in my head.
So you're going Claude in your top 3?
My top 3 DMs of all time are Makaleli.
1?
No order.
No, I wanted in order, bro.
Oh, in order? Okay. I'm going
Highest to lowest, bro.
Lowest to highest.
Sorting the tab.
I'm going Makaleli 1.
1.
Yeah.
Why?
He invented the position.
Did he invent the
The position is named after him.
But
yeah.
did he-
Makaleli role. It's like the
Or-
number 10 role. It's the Makaleli
Or the
role.
Makaleli marketing.
It's pretty good marketing then. That's impact.
But besides him inventing the role, how did he invent the role? Like what did he do to deserve that?
If you needed someone in that position, you needed someone in the Makaleli role.
But just because he invented it doesn't mean that there can't be people that do it better.
No, there can. Yeah, no. There can, but like,
So that doesn't
but,
reflect your
but
list.
I like seeing impact. I like seeing.
So this is the top
influence.
3 most impactful.
I like seeing generational, and no one's gonna forget the Makaleli role.
Okay.
So that's why I got Makaleli.
I'm not mad with that because when Makaleli, I think, left Madrid or they didn't play him as much, the Madrid team like completely changed.
Fell apart.
Like they needed like that cog. They needed him in that midfield, and they weren't the same when he wasn't playing. So I'll give you that.
He's the definition of a cog in the system. He is the system. He is.
All right.
Like you know what? How sometimes people say system player. Makaleli is a system player, but wait, he's the system.
But
That's
is
the
that-
difference.
Is that a bad thing?
This guy just
No,
doesn't-
it's a great thing. He's the system. So I got Makaleli, I got Busquets, and I'm gonna have to go Rijkaard.
Rijkaard?
Yeah,
Why?
generational.
How?
Change the game.
How?
he was one of those guys. He did it for Milan.
Yeah.
So what?
What did he do?
He impacted the position for generations. He won Champions Leagues. He won leagues. He won Euros.
Was he was playing at the same time as Hullet, no?
Yeah.
On the same team?
Yeah.
So you're saying Rijkaard was more influential than Hullet?
When did I say that?
You said he was that guy.
Yeah, he was.
So if he's that guy, then who's Hullet? Is he him?
The other guy.
Yeah.
So
They were the Dutch trio.
Who's better?
Who was better? Gullit. Gullit to Cam, though. Yeah.
Okay.
That's my
I
three.
didn't say no.
Do what you want with it.
No love for Redondo?
Fernando, no.
Why?
Because Redon, no.
I don't know.
So crazy.
You pretty much described Casemiro and everything you said there. System player,
So who's your top three?
top 3, DMs. I don't know. I'm so biased. Sorry. Can't.
You gonna put Scholes in there?
No chance. No. I like Casemiro just because of what he's shown in the like in for Real Madrid. You know what I mean? He's elevated that role as much as Makelele can have created it. He's elevated it because he is a player who can also provide going forward, and he really does it by himself sometimes. Like Cruz and Modric didn't really have to expect to be much defensively, whereas Casemiro was just there. Like he needed to play there, and then as soon as just the fact that he was able to impact this team for United so quickly, again, I'll keep repeating myself. It just is crazy to me because that's something we've always been looking for, and he just brought it. So I have to have Casemiro in there, and again, no order. I'll say Vieira, and I'll say Makelele too. I like that.
I got a name no one said. Is there no love for Gennaro Rino Gattuso?
He was all right.
Is there no love for Daniele De Rossi?
Didn't
I
really
think the
win.
players we mentioned do it better than them.
Reno?
Yeah.
Is there no love for JV Martinez?
Nah, not really.
That was a crazy name to drop.
But is there no love for Edgar Davids?
Yeah, what about Edgar Davids with the goggles?
There you go, bro.
Why did you say it?
Maybe he was best dressed.
Is there no love for Didier Deschamps?
But this can go on
Forever.
Is there no love for Dunga?
But again, everyone can pick who impacted my 3 can be different than your 3, and they can all be literally at the same. Like, it just how do you feel is what, like Jay mentioned, Makelele because he created the role, but was he the best at it? We don't know. But at the same time, just because he created it, obviously you can add him in there. But that's the thing: was it impactful? Did he do that role great, like as the best as he could, or did he revolutionize the midfield role? So all these players are definitely top.
True. But yeah, that's the EFL Cup final. 2-0. That's one trophy of the
the
cabinet.
Casemiro show.
To the next one, man.
When was the last trophy United won?
17.
17 was like EFL as well, and then we won
Europa League in
2018
maybe.
I think it was 17.
I think it was 17.
It might have done a double
Mourinho,
under Mourinho, right?
Yeah.
With Ibra.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. Hopefully United keep winning
Quadruple
trophies.
coming. Quadruple.
Yeah, what?
I mean,
Premier League, Europa League, EFL, FA.
I don't know about all that, bro. I don't know how realistic that is, bro.
Only team in top 5 leagues still able to reach quadruple.
but that's because they have more competitions to play.
Yeah.
Man. It is what it is.
But yeah, that's that. Today we had award ceremony going down. We had the best award, and then they announced the World 11, the FIFA Pro 11. Was this also voted by the players or just the best awards?
The best was voted by players?
Yeah.
It always is. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The other one's by the journalists, right?
Format.
Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, Ballon d'Or is by journalists.
What would you take as a better, like, how can I say this? Like, would you rather be voted by players or voted by, like, fans or voted by, like, journalists or, like, it's weird because it's always biased.
There's always going to be some kind of bias.
But what's the more, like, realistic or, like, like, more accurate of, like, all top of those 3? Like, fans, players, or, like, journalists?
I mean,
I'd say players. Players. Because with the players, it's like it's your peers.
yeah, about the same.
And what your peers think about you matters the most.
But again, like example of Messi's picks, he chose Neymar 1, Mbappe 2, and Benzema 3. I can literally flip that upside down and I would say, yes, I agree to that too.
Yeah, low key.
I can literally say Benzema 1, Mbappe 2, and Neymar 3. And I can say, yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like it was one of those years where there was like quite a few players that had good years that you can make an argument for Benzema. You can make an argument for Mbappe. You can make an argument for Messi. Whereas sometimes there's other years where there's just that clear number one.
Yeah.
This year, in my opinion, I think the clear number one is still Messi.
Yeah.
I think just because he played okay in the league. It obviously wasn't his best performance, but at the same time, like what he did in the World Cup was insane. Like he was just switching into a new gear. And then even this season so far with PSG, he's been arguably their best player,
Yeah.
right? Like you can tell the team functions so much better when he is there in some capacity.
But I can argue it's Mbappe at a bigger, like I can say Messi is better with Mbappe than Messi is with Neymar. 100%.
That's true. That's fair.
They faced Marseille in the cup and in the league with Mbappe. They won without Mbappe, and with Neymar they lost.
Yeah, that's fair. I can give you that.
I think he plays better with Mbappe.
But then I think obviously all these, awards and best of and Ballon d'Or and all this voting, anytime there's a major competition, that's what's going to take precedent. And I think when you look at the 11 that was chosen,
What was
I
it?
think
didn't
like
see
that
it.
just screams like big competitions. Like maybe it wasn't so much of a focus on the year as a whole, like macro level. I think it was more like World Cup, Champions League, or like World Cup and, I guess maybe best individual performances. Because like if you look at the 11, it's like all performances that are based on, in my opinion, like World Cup, but then also like maybe, who scored the most goals like within the calendar year.
in their respective competitions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think like keeper, right? You had the Martinez.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that?
He did nothing versus the league.
He won the best keeper.
Okay, but like,
But he wasn't in the best 11.
oh, he wasn't.
Courtois, I believe, was in the best 11, but Martinez was voted the best keeper.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand how that works, but
Because again, what is picked by who? Is the league is the best picked by players, and then the journalists pick the best 11?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but I know for sure that the best is chosen by
I'm pretty
players.
sure the players picked the 11 too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Which
don't know.
again, how does one win the best trophy, and how does the other win the 11? Do they just like kind of like give one to one kind of thing?
Yeah. Like how does that work?
Because if you're picking Emi Martinez to be the best keeper in the world, you're obviously picking him as your 11. So
Yeah.
how does someone pick Martinez as the best and then Courtois as the 11?
Yeah.
That's where like it's like, was it the
little
players picking for
confusing.
both?
yeah.
But again, does it really have where a player or a keeper really did like get to win the best in the world from playing only 8 games, and he can like say he played some of the best football in those 8 games out of his whole season? Or a player who was consistently winning throughout the season? Did they win the league, Courtois?
Yeah.
They won Champions League. He was consistent all how many games? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And he played well in the World Cup too. It's just
He
his
did.
team kind of let him down a little
So
bit.
like,
Yeah.
what do you really accept? The fact that Martinez played a good 8 games. He obviously had great performances with the penalties too, and you know what I mean. He had his own little the way his attitude, his things on the pitch and
Yeah.
off the pitch. But then you have a player like Courtois who was literally consistent throughout. Amazing Champions League final. Literally won them the Champions League final.
Yeah.
Right, so, like as a keeper, winning the league, a game,
Yeah.
a finals game, that's ridiculous. And then again, consistent throughout the season. Which one do you say is more weighted just because it's the World Cup? Yeah, like it's one of the biggest trophies in the world football ever to win. But like, is it being consistent for 8 games, which is a lot easier than being consistent for like the full season plus Champions League, where there's obviously more games and longer calendars?
I mean, the thing is, like, for this best award, might as well just make it the best goalie at the World Cup, because that's what it seems like. And if that was the case, then Martinez wasn't even the best keeper. Livakovic was.
That's fair.
Like, if you look at, like, overall rating, like, save percentage, stuff like that, Livakovic leads, like. So I don't know why. Like, I understand why, but If it was the best, then probably shouldn't be Martinez.
Because if it was journalists, then yeah, I don't think Martinez would have won that. Fan base, I can definitely see why.
Yeah, because like they won the World Cup. That's a big thing. But was he the best goalie of the year or whatever? Probably
No.
not. Definitely the World Cup. Maybe you can make a case for it, but
He's not even a top 10 goalie in the world. No, he's not top 10 at all.
Right now, yeah, I would say
He's not that good. Like, he's so lucky he played with Messi, man. He's not good.
I think
he's
he's like-
actually not that good.
he's like a prime example for me, like one of those players where he's like mid, he's a mid goalie, but when he puts on that Argentina shirt, he just turns into a different animal.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the cockiness, the arrogance, and like the way he just gets into players' heads. And he backs it up too. Like he made some very, very big saves, and I think like he has a big personality, so I think that helps. But I definitely don't think that if they don't win the World Cup, I don't even think he's anywhere near like top 10
Oh no.
yeah,
to keep it a stack.
no
like
chance.
I can name like 10 better goalies right now,
Yeah,
pretty easily. Maybe not easily, but
Pretty easily.
pretty easily.
do
Pretty
you guys
easily.
also think like Messi's award is justified?
Yeah.
'Cause I've seen like a lot of people saying like, okay, what if this was Benzema switched with Messi? So Benzema had the World Cup Messi had like the Champions League run that he had. But would Messi then win it just because it's Messi? You know what I mean?
I
That's-
think
That's a
Yeah, that's an argument,
crazy
too.
shout.
That's true.
I kind of agree with
you guys
it.
think so though?
Yeah, that might be facts.
does Argentina still make the World Cup final?
Yeah.
If they
with
still make the
Messi-
World Cup final, then yeah, it's Messi.
It's Messi because
100%.
Benzema didn't really play a role for that France team, unfortunately.
No, but let's say he
But
did
no,
it-
but I'm
yeah.
saying if Benzema had the exact performance that Messi had in the World Cup,
okay.
same thing. But Messi then had the same performance Benzema had in the UCL, same impact, same goals, whatever. Would Messi still win it, or would Benzema win it just because Messi did now?
I think Messi would still win it.
People ride him so hard, man.
It's like, yeah,
So hard.
it's one of those things where it's like, if Messi does it, it's because of Messi, but if another player does it, it's because of the team.
Yeah.
Like if Benzema did that, it would, oh, Benzema has Mbappe. They have it's a generational France team. But when Messi does it, it's like, oh, Messi carried these 10 other Argentine bums to the World Cup, right? And you know what? It's just the way it is. And like, obviously, everyone can have their different opinions, but when you just reach that like status, like that GOAT status, like you just have that aura about you, like it's just the way it is.
It's crazy. They don't have voter fatigue
What do you mean?
in soccer.
What's that?
Like if you actually look back and take it in, like Messi, Ronaldo, and all the Ballon d'Ors, you compare it to, let's say, the NBA. If you really think about it, LeBron's been the best player in the world every year, but there was voter fatigue, so he didn't win that many MVPs. Like, it's so different between soccer and basketball. Like, why is there no voter fatigue in soccer?
I don't know.
I think maybe it's a little bit different because like the NBA is one league and it's one competition, but like
Yeah, but it's like Messi and Ronaldo were clearly the best players, obviously. LeBron was clearly the best all the time.
but was he though?
Yeah.
But isn't it more boring to just have one winner all the time instead of having two potentially all the time? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, but even then, like,
So it's kind of different in that case.
I guess, but like,
But like in this era of, let's say, I know this is turning into almost like an NBA podcast now, but like LeBron didn't really have anyone throughout the eras that he was like going like toe to toe with every season consistently. Like it changed. Like, you know,
Yeah.
LeBron was going against Kobe and then he was going against Curry. And it's like I guess, you know, the second best player in the league was always changing, whereas like Messi and Ronaldo have been head to head for the better part of a decade. And I think like when one had a good league season, the other one won the Champions League. So it's like you have different competitions to compare and justify, but either way, they're always winning something. Where it's like if LeBron wasn't winning the league, then like whoever won the league is going to get the MVP, or whoever had the best average throughout the year is going to win the MVP. But I think in soccer it's a little bit different because maybe it's not as stats based. Whereas in the NBA, I think it's very much like stats driven. Like whoever has the best stats is going to probably win the MVP.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
I don't know.
So is it also crazy to say that Messi wouldn't have a Copa America or World Cup without Di Maria? Because in both of those finals, it was Di Maria that kind of stepped up, right?
It's not crazy to say.
Again, no player can do it by themselves. As much as everyone say, yeah, Messi did it by himself, or whatever. Like in football, especially with 11 players, you can't do it by yourself. You might be impactful where, they can help the other players perform a little bit better. Just obviously, but you can't do it by yourself. Di Maria's not there. I can say they probably wouldn't win.
No, I'm not mad at that. I think like for me, Di Maria is probably one of the most underrated players like of all time.
Yeah,
to keep it a stack. Like he's just one of those players where he had such great performances, but it's like it seems like he never gets the recognition that he deserves. In my opinion,
he's always playing with some of the best ever. If it's with Messi, Ronaldo, Real Madrid, PSG, he was with Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. He's obviously cooked all those seasons too, and then he's playing Argentina with Messi. So it's like
it's tough, very tough.
Maybe now because he's playing in Juventus and actually like is probably one of their best players right now.
Yeah,
Single-handedly took him to the next round.
It's just a shame that he's there when Juventus are kind of down the dumps. No one is really following them as much, but he is definitely probably their best player right now.
So it's true. But yeah, who was in the 11?
Yeah, just before that. So Messi winning the award, you guys fully agree?
Yeah. You can make an argument for Benzema. You can maybe make an argument for Mbappe just based on like individual performances and like goals and like, he had big game performance in the final, arguably a bigger performance than Messi in the final. He had big game performances in the Champions League too.
Didn't he also get like 20 plus goals and assists?
Stupid amount of goals and assists, right? So you can obviously make an argument for that, but I think like I personally can't say no to Messi. I'm okay with it.
It's tough. Exactly. If Benzema was playing in the World Cup like regularly with no injuries and like was there and was there for the finals
and
too,
impactful,
and you know what I mean?
Yeah,
maybe, but because then you're just gonna compare one player won the league and won
the World Cup,
won the Uber Eats League, whatever, but one won the league, won the Champions League, and was a key factor to get to the finals is different. Yeah. But again, World Cup is World Cup. I guess whenever there's always a World Cup in a calendar year, it's always going to hold more weight than anything else, for the most part. So
I see people saying on Twitter that Messi's win is a robbery.
A robbery?
Someone said, so what FIFA is telling us is the guy who didn't make Ligue 1 Best 11, didn't make UEFA's Best 11, didn't make the 30-man Ballon d'Or list is the best player in the world. There's robberies, and then there's this. Is that a stretch?
Is the Ballon d'Or from last year not given away yet, right?
Ballon d'Or of last year didn't have any reflection of the World Cup, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. So I think like obviously that's gonna play a factor into it.
When did they give the Ballon d'Or away?
I think it was before the World Cup.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Like what?
Right? So it's like obviously he's not gonna be in that list because truthfully he didn't have the best of years. But at the end of the day, like World Cup is World Cup.
But it is true though. If he didn't make top 30 in the World Cup in the Ballon d'Or,
bro,
and didn't make his league's
best 11,
and considering that he won the league, it literally the whole best literally lied on him winning the World Cup. That's all it is.
It's a FIFA event.
That's all it is. It literally you literally won the World Cup. That's all it is. FIFA literally
it's a FIFA event.
It might as well be the World Cup Golden Ball then.
We've mentioned this before. FIFA will ride on Messi hard, man.
Especially in a World Cup year, it was always like the whole 11, the coach. It's all World Cup driven.
I'd be surprised if they added more goats to their Twitter account and stuff.
Right.
So rigged World Cup, having Argentina being the best manager, Argentine being the best goalie, and Messi.
I'll give it to Scaloni because a lot of managers couldn't do it. What he did. Sure.
He was the only one that was able to do it, to bring Argentina to a World Cup. Many have tried.
Martinez, okay, there's an argument, right? Messi too. There's an argument.
But I think Martinez is like the most kind of out of pocket, you know?
Yeah. It's quite out of pocket, considering he wasn't even in the 11.
Yeah.
That's what makes it out of pocket. But I think like
He
gaffer-wise,
wasn't
like
the World Cup 11.
not in the
No,
the
FIFA.
Yeah,
FIFA Pro.
sorry,
World
He wasn't World Cup.
Because if you look at gaffer, like who else really can you make an argument for? Ancelotti.
Ancelotti, yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty much it.
Was he in the argument talk?
I don't know. I don't know
not
if
too
I
sure.
didn't see any voting for gaffs.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
I'm not mad about Scaloni. I think whatever manager won the World Cup, they probably would have won that award to keep it a stack.
So World Cup award instead of the
Low-key.
best award.
Yeah. This year was.
So the best is really based on calendar year too, or not, or season calendar year?
Seems like it was based off the World Cup.
Yeah.
Well, in years past, like what Lewandowski won this award that year that people argued that he should have won the Ballon d'Or,
Yeah.
right? So
Anyways, speaking about the 11, the World 11 is looking like this. Interesting formation, 3-3-4. Got a stack pad that attackers.
yeah,
Right?
it's always like that.
Yeah, we had Courtois net. Everyone
Fair.
agrees, right?
Yeah.
100%.
Hakimi, do you guys agree with that? Or is that kind of
World Cup tax.
World Cup tax?
Yeah.
Season?
Like he wasn't that crazy this past season,
He was
right?
crazy in the World Cup.
Yeah.
But then again, like, ask me to name like another defender that can clearly go in over him.
As a right back?
Well, they're playing like a 3-3-4. So technically
Yeah.
just a defender. Like, I can't really name you another one that like would probably deserve like head over heels go in over Hakimi. Like you can say Alaba, but he wasn't even in the World Cup.
Militao.
You can say Militao didn't really play too big of a factor in the World Cup. Like you can say Marquinhos didn't have the best World Cup.
Oh.
Like it's kind of tough to find maybe another player to slot in there. Like
Can't really argue in your Argentinian center backs either. Otamendi, sure, but he's not going to really...
yeah, if Otamendi was in there, then it's a wrap. Just make it a World Cup 11. Like at least they had a little bit of variety. But
Maguire.
True. Van Dyke. You think Van Disney should be in there? It's in 2019, bro.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it only because like if you think about, they made the World Cup, they made the Champions League final. They had a decent run in the league last year, and like, yeah, I know he was aura defending a little bit in the final, but like he did his thing to get them there, and like, I'm okay with it. And also, I can't think of another center back that I'd probably put in ahead of him.
Me neither.
It's tough. Defenders
Realistically.
defenders are losing their... They're like... I don't know.
Ability.
No one rates defenders anymore.
Next up, man, there's a lot of good defenders next
Always
up.
been an attacker's game, bro.
Not like before, man.
I think there's a little bit of a lull, but I think like now there's a lot of good defenders in the come up.
I think this one's like the most like locked on, assured. Cancelo had a fantastic season.
Not
Yeah.
a World Cup, though.
Not a good World Cup,
Not a
but
good
great
World Cup,
season.
but great season.
But then again, I think it falls into that category where it's like, name me someone better. And it's like,
yeah,
I can't really like.
yeah. And then the three mids, we had De Bruyne.
Good
Terrible
year,
World Cup.
terrible World Cup, right?
Yeah.
We had United's Casemiro.
Yes. I'll give it to him.
Fair,
Yeah,
Makes
it's
sense,
deserved.
right?
Fair.
100%.
Fair.
Modric, 100%.
Yeah.
100%,
deserved.
100%.
You guys think any other mid could have been squeezed into there
Over De Bruyne, maybe?
over any of those?
Not over Casemiro or Modric. I'm sorry.
I think overall as a season, like, I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the four attackers, we had Messi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Benzema.
Yeah.
Haaland.
Champions League. Haaland?
You guys think Haaland should be in there? Is that kind of
Haaland.
I don't see a problem.
How did he do last year? Dortmund.
I mean, this year alone, he was already like how many goals in the Premier League? Just the first half of the season, right?
That's what I'm saying. Is it counting the full year?
Yeah.
Probably,
I think it's calendar year. Because if that's counting World Cup,
yeah.
right? I mean, he lit it up with in the Prem. They didn't obviously have the best season with Dortmund. He did have a lot of injury. Dortmund had a very bad season last year, but I think he still finished as one of the top scorers in the league.
Then who else was there? Mbappe?
And then Mbappe was the last.
See, I can put Vinny over Haaland, though.
That's what I'm saying too, bro.
Oh,
Low
Vinny,
key.
yeah,
Oh, that's a good
actually-
show.
He had a
Yeah.
great
I
CL
didn't
run,
even
man.
think
I
about
can say
that.
Vinny over Haaland.
Yeah.
He had a...
Who was top scorer in the
He had a
Champions
good
League?
World Cup. He had a good World Cup.
Yeah.
Last
That goal
year.
against...
He's good in the World Cup.
Who did he score that goal against? Top corner from the left side.
Man, the World Cup's a blur, for me,
Korea.
bro.
Korea goal.
Yeah.
That was the one.
Yeah,
I put Vinny over Haaland. I'm sorry.
I like Vinny in there too.
What's crazy is that Vini was like pretty down
Low.
there, low key
Yeah.
for the FIFA best men's player. He was 11th. So we had De Bruyne, Neymar, Hakimi, Alvarez, Sadio Mane, Haaland,
It's World Cup.
all ahead of him.
Yeah,
And that's 11 to 5. I don't know how Alvarez is up there. Like, I understand, like, he played his role in the World Cup, but literally that's it.
His role, literally.
Yeah, like,
He did
that's
his
it.
role.
Club-wise, what did he do?
I couldn't tell you. He already won to the city.
Right?
That's crazy.
But I just think, like, Vini got robbed, man. Like,
Low
he should
key.
be, like, at least, like, top 6, bro. Maybe top 5 if you want to squeeze him in.
I think low key Vinny doesn't get some of the respect that he deserves. IMO.
Yeah.
I am H.O. Yeah.
I think, like, now especially, like, due to the fact that, like, he be lashing out at, like, the officials and stuff like that and, like, other players, I think that's also, like, a
Is he, though?
contributor to why. Yeah.
No, but
No
he's
wingers do that.
man. He does his. He's literally a great Champions League player too. Like when he
Yeah.
plays Champions League time, he shows up. He shows up.
Especially, but when you're a winger and you play like Vini, like you're gonna get hacked at all game, and it's like if you're not getting protected by the refs to an extent, it's like I'm okay with that. Like I'm okay with like going and giving the ref a piece of your mind. Like if you're getting hacked at all game, you're gonna get frustrated.
For sure.
I don't care who you are. Messi does it.
He does.
Oh, everyone does it.
But the
Right.
thing is that no one will say, "Oh, Messi complains when the
Yeah.
ref stuff and all that stuff," and the refs will literally take his side over anything too.
Yeah.
You seen the World Cup? Messi should have gotten a red card.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Vinny, I think is a great shout. I think I would probably put him in there. I think like Haaland, while he did have a good year, I think you can argue Vinny had a bit of a better year, and I think Haaland had a better year the year before.
Yeah.
I think where he was Champions League top scorer,
Yeah.
he won the Pokal, was top scorer, and I think that competition as well. I think that there you go. You have a reason to be in. This is just hype.
It's
Him scoring a shit ton of goals
I
and
think that's a
type.
lot of recency.
Yeah,
World
Yeah.
Cup, like recency,
yeah.
and like everything after it. And sure, tossing Benzema there because he won the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
So should we really hold, like, these awards to such a high regard?
I don't ever. The Ballon d'Or too. It's just so stupid to me. I don't know. It's
Well, we know it's rigged.
Ballon d'Or or World Cup?
Both.
Just that or more?
No, the whole game is rigged.
Game's gone.
It's all a show. It's all
Like the
entertainment
game's
for us,
been gone
right?
a long time, and you just gotta find pockets of like joy within. You know,
Yeah.
What's your pocket of joy?
Carabao Cup.
watching Dembele go with defenders,
Yeah.
watching Neymar and Vinny dance. Like you find the little pockets of joy within
Yeah.
all the madness.
I dictate like football when I see it, not because someone told me this guy won a trophy here, won a trophy there. If I can see this guy's impressed me, like I like the way he plays. Or
For
like,
me, yeah, it's the eye
it's-
test.
It's always been the eye test, and some of the time like these journalists too. It's like, who do they work for? What's their nation? Who do
Yeah.
they support?
yeah.
Who's
These players
paying
too.
them?
Who's paying them?
So,
Yeah,
like-
that's the biggest thing.
Who do they work for? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's always going to be what every fan thinks of the eye test is going to be, and that's what causes debate.
Yeah.
And they like someone is gonna say, "Oh, Messi's the best because he has all these trophies." But clearly, example, I'm not saying Messi doesn't have it, but say, "Oh, example, Ronaldo, he's shown it on the pitch, or whatever." That's always gonna be the debate because one guy is gonna not watch football, but just look at the paper.
Look at the stats,
Look
yeah.
at the paper next morning. Oh, Messi won the best. He has to be the best,
Yeah.
right?
The thing is, like, in terms of journalists voting for, like, the Ballon d'Or or whatever, like, how credible is that? What biases do they have? Who's paying them off? In terms of players voting for the best award,
It's all friends.
they're picking their friends,
Yeah.
right? They don't want to cause, like, any, like,
Controversy or
controversy or,
issues.
like,
yeah.
imbalance in the dressing room. So, like, who do you believe at the end of the day, right?
Who would be the best to pick? I think
Coaches.
coaches, even like I don't know, like
Coaches.
But even then, there's bias there, too.
There's
But
always gonna
Yeah,
be
but
bias.
coaches know ball though.
But even like people who like show like that eye test, like example, like some of these apps are like, oh, it's this player ratings, you know what I mean? Like this
Yeah.
guy's stats, maybe stats a little bit
So
too.
sofa score, foot mob.
Yeah, I mean, you could. Like, at the
And
end of the
even,
day, like,
even some like these like betting apps, because at the end of the day, like money is put into like this stuff too. Like you got to make sure like everything's like accurate. You know who? Obviously, it's kind of hard, but like
I think at the end of the day, it's always going to be a blend of, like, the eye test in combination with like the stats, because eye tests can be great, but at the end of the day, that the player could have just had one good game where they were feeling it, they got on the ball, and like, oh wow, what a performance. But like, I think with stats to an extent, if they have the stats and the eye test, then I think for me that's the ultimate, because you can look at like let's say the best 11 of last year, and I bet you like half those players wouldn't be in the best 11 based off of stats of last season, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Some of them would obviously be there. I think Messi would definitely be there, Mbappe for sure. But I think the defenders, I think you'd be looking at a very different list.
Maybe.
Maybe even midfielders as well, although I'm sure some of them would still be in there. Like I think De Bruyne would definitely be in there, Modric. So I think it's different. I think there's two different lenses that you can look at the game, like stats based, eye test, right?
Yeah. And really just fan based.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, don't listen to the journalists.
Listen
Don't
to your
listen
heart.
to the players.
Listen to you.
Listen to us.
Yeah, listen to us.
I don't know. I think we're pretty good.
That's hard.
We might be biased here and there, but like I don't know, we speak facts sometimes.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we're here to like pick each other's brains. We're like, if you say someone, then I'm like, nah, dude, like this
Yeah.
guy, and then I'm like, okay, and like you're right. Like I kind of believe it because you're telling me why.
Yeah.
There's debate, and why sometimes debate like helps because help people realize like, yeah, you're right. I can see this, I can see that. But when someone literally comes on and says, no, he's the best because of this,
Yeah.
it's like, and they won't accept the debate. It's just like, what's the
Expatty.
point? Yeah, expatty.
I don't know. But yeah, boys, that's that. Let us know who's in your World 11, who should have been your FIFA best player.
Who's the best CDM in all time?
Yeah,
Casemiro.
I don't know. But yeah, boys, I think we'll wrap it up there, right?
Adam's Adam.
Yeah, boys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. You know who we are.
Yes, sir.
We the culture, man.
Ciao, boys.
With that, we out.
Cheers. Cheers.
Jay has to go to training soon.
Looking drippy.
What? No, it's not hot.
Let me put that on, bro.
No.
Why?